therefore suspend SO52 in tandem with the proviso so that the business of the House may commence.
Any seconder?
I so second, Mr. Speaker.
All those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to amend the other people now. Prayer is gone. 2, record of votes and proceedings for Thursday, the 9th October, remain. 3, announcement by Mr. Speaker. 4, Trail of papers. A, Honorable Matthew S. Newman, Leader of Government Business. A1, the Mines and Minerals Development Regulations 2023. The Mines and Minerals Development Act 2023, Act number 16 of 2023. Statutory Instrument number 9 of 2023. Mr. Speaker, are you with me? Okay. 2A2, Roman number 2. The Development Regulations 2023. The Development Act 2023, Act number 15 of 2023. Statutory Instrument number 10 of 2023. A, Roman number 3. The National Land Commission, in bracket, para-surveyors and paralegals, in bracket, para-surveyors and paralegals. Operational Regulations 2023. The National Land Commission Act 2022, in bracket, Act number 19 of 2022. Statutory Instrument number 11 of 2023. Roman number A4. The Customary Land Rights Regulations 2023. The Customary Land Rights Act 2022. Act number 20 of 2022. Statutory Instrument number 12 of 2023. Number 5, Roman number 5. Motion of the Committee on Appointment and Public Service. Proposer, Honorable Matthew S. Newman. Seconder, Honorable Bashiru Siliki. Be it resolved that the 9th report of the first session of the 6th Parliament of the Committee on Appointment and Public Service be adopted by the House and that the recommendation contained therein be approved. Mr. Speaker, I so move that the order paper be amended.
Any seconder?
Sorry, Mr. Speaker, I so second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Motion moved by the Majority Leader and Leader of Government Business has been carried. The record of votes and proceedings for Thursday, 19th October 2023.
Honorable members, record of votes and proceedings. Pages 1 to 4. Page 5. Six. 7. 8. 9. Can the member please move?
I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder?
I so second, Mr. Speaker.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The record of votes and proceedings for Thursday, 19th October 2023. has been adopted. Announcement by Mr. Speaker.
Proceed.
Laying of papers. Honorable Matthew S. Nima, Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay on the table of this House the following instruments. 1. The Mines and Minerals Development Regulations 2023, the Mines and Minerals Development Act 2023, Act number 16 of 2023, Statutory Instrument number 9 of 2023. 2. The Development Regulations 2023, the Employment Act, the Employment Regulations 2023, the Employment Act 2023, Act number 15 of 2023, Statutory Instrument number 10 of 2023. 3. The National Land Commission, Para-Surveyors and Paralegals. Operational Regulations 2023, the National Land Commission Act 2022, Act number 19 of 2022. Statutory Instrument number 11 of 2023. 4. The Customary Land Rights Regulations 2023. The Customary Land Rights Act 2022, Act number 20 of 2022. Statutory Instrument number 12 of 2023.
Proceed.
Motion of the Committee on Appointments and the Public Service. Proposer, Honorable Matthew S. Nima. Seconder, Honorable OfficialSLTVChannel.
Mr. Speaker, the ninth report of the Committee on Appointments and the Public Service on parliamentary vetting of presidential nominations 2023. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the Committee on Appointments and Public Service, cognizance of each of constitutional obligation or responsibility of vetting presidential and approving and presidential nominees, appropriately qualified candidates for important offices of state, met on Monday, 23rd October 2023, and interviewed 6 presidential nominees for the following positions. Take note of the first one: cognizance of each constitutional responsibility of vetting and appointing of appropriately qualified candidates for important offices of state. 6 presidential nominees for the following positions. 1. Take note of the correction again. The Executive Director, National Drugs Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA. 2. Deputy Commissioner, National Children's Commission. 2 members of Board of Directors for the National Mineral Agency, NMA, and Director General and Deputy Director General of the sierraleone Port Authority. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the committee conducted a hearing within its set framework of procedures, and the nominees were interviewed on issues pertaining to their educational background to ensure that they have the relevant education and necessary backup experience to effectively perform in the various positions appointed. Further probing questions put to the nominees covered wide ranging issues relating to a stimulus to litmus transparency probe on their track records in the public service and other pertinent work situations, declared asset, tax obligations, and their vision for nationally productive tenure. Issues of unsuitability or otherwise we are closely looked into. 11th sitting of the committee on Monday, 23rd October 2023. The following presidential nominees were interviewed on oath. 1. Mr. Andrew Jaya Kaikai. Mr. Speaker, we ask you to a little bit moderate the gallery so that we can proceed fast, because we started very late. All right. Mr. Andrew Jaya Kaikai, proposed Executive Director, National Drugs Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA. Mr. Andrew Jaya Kaikai is a renowned politician, a philanthropist, a human rights activist, a retired I see the...
Hey, ma talk to now. Please, this is not the House of Parliament. We are allowed to go small, yeah? Please, yeah? Okay. Proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for admonishing them. Mr. Andrew Jaya Kaikai is a renowned politician, a philanthropist, a human rights activist, a retired platoon commander and a military police of the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces, and an astute immigration law expert. He acquired greater part of his tertiary education in the United States, where he attained a master's degree at the Suffolk University Law School, 2004 to 2005, and owns and operates till date a law firm known as Kaikai Law Group, PPLC, in Dallas, Texas. He was admitted to the bar in Texas in 2006 and is a member of the American Bar and Dallas Bar Associations. At party level, he served as North American and Canada legal advisor for the ruling party, Sierra Leone People's Party. Prior to this appointment, he was the chief immigration officer, a principal advisor to the government on all matters relating to immigration. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, this committee suddenly reaffirms the earlier recommendation bestowed on this committee during the immediate past session of this House. Responding to the committee on the state of drug laws, he acknowledged that the country requires a review of the drugs legislation. He promised to work with Parliament and other coalition of state parties to do a thorough review of the laws relating to this matter. Mr. Henry Mustafa Shehu. Thank you. The proposed Deputy Commissioner, National Children's Commission, NCC. Mr. Henry Mustafa Shehu is a modest character, a passionate human rights defender, and a development expert, especially relating to educational growth of deprived societies. His career path speaks well to the assignment as related to. In 2011 to 2014, he served as senior rights officer. Take note, senior human rights officer. Take note of the correction. As senior human rights officer at the Human Rights Commission of Sierra Leone, HRSL, where amongst his cardinal role was gathering data on rights abuses, monitoring of compliances to human rights standards, including the state of children. 2019 to 2020, he also served as program manager for the Protection, Disability, Inclusion, and Child Empowerment Program supported by non-governmental organization, Leone Fund. Mr. Sheku holds a master's degree in Peace and Development Studies from the Jala University 2014 and has worked extensively with the political and electoral division of the United Nations Mission in Sudan, OMIS, during which he supported the development of our National Development Framework, peacekeeping, political and security analysis, etc., etc. Responding to the Committee on the Current State of Children, irrespective of the 2007 Child Rights Act and its vision to reverse the negative trajectory, the nominee said the NCC Act was clear on its role and that it takes resources and teamwork to accomplish. He continued that quite remarkable strategies had put in place, and so he would support the Commissioner to cater for children, especially those not under any form of care or protection. Mr. Joseph Bobo Toka, proposed director, Board of Directors, National Minerals Agency, NME. Mr. Joseph Bobo Toka is a scientist and mining engineer with 3 decades spanning expertise. Take note of the correction, please. Decades spanning expertise, working with the Sierra Leone rutile company in different capacities, to name but a few. 2011 to 2017, as trickle dredge and vast dredge manager, 2010 to 2018, as production manager, 1992 to 1993, as engineer in charge of land plant support, 1993 to 1995, as engineer in charge of training, planning, and special projects, etc., etc. Mr. Tucker's long stay in mining environment is expected to guide the board on practical policies approach that will help mining companies comply to their commitments. The nominee has several advanced mining qualifications. To his credit, and served the Bo Government Secondary School, his alma mater, as chemistry and mathematics teacher, 1982 to 1985, prior to his proceeding to the mines. He said, with collaboration, the NMA board will work together to help the agency succeed for Sierra Leone. Mrs. Alice Musulansana, proposed member, Board of Directors, National Mineral Agency. Thank you. Take your seat. Mrs. Alice Musulansana is highly experienced financial management professional with strong managerial and administrative capabilities, spanning over 20 years. She holds a master's degree in development finance from the University of Birmingham, United Kingdom, with a rich pictorial of experience in diverse work situations, as we have noted. 1998 to 2003, she served as member, National Policy Advisory Committee, NPAC, at cabinet level, Office of the President, State House Freetown, where she provided timely and strategic advice on key policy issues relating to the economic and social development of Sierra Leone. From 2001 to 2008, she was a member, Board of Directors, Audit Service Sierra Leone, ASSL. From 2001 to 2003, she served as member, Medium-Term Expenditure Framework Committee, Ministry of Finance, Sierra Leone. From 1996 to 1998, she was Director, Finance and Logistics, National Commission for Reconstruction, Resettlement and Rehabilitation, NCDDR, in Sierra Leone. During her tenure, she managed, coordinated, and monitored the special bank account for donor funds and ensured that donor-specific guidelines were fully complied with. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, responding to the committee on what she would be bringing to the enemy, Mrs. Alice Musu Lansana said she was willing to work with colleagues to achieve the mandate of the institution. Mr. Yankuba Askiabio. Mr. Yankuba Askiabio, proposed Director General, Sierra Leone Ports Authority. Mr. Yankuba Askiabio is a career for company specialist with adept knowledge in ports management, spanning from logistics to port services to procurement handling. He entered the Queen Elizabeth Key workspace in 2013 as an administrator at the Bolore Africa Logistics, and later in 2015 grew to logistics superintendent in charge. Thank you. And later in 2015 grew to the logistics superintendent in charge of orders, purchase requests, and orders. In 2015, to date, he rose to the rank of country procurement manager and acted in the capacity of general manager of the Bolore Africa Logistics at the Queen Elizabeth II Key. Take note of the correction. QUAY. Stop. His steadfastness and determination to grow answered him when in 2018 the nominee was appointed as the Deputy Director of Sierra Leone Ports Authority, where he oversaw the organizational performance and administration and transformation of the ports. He held this position with professionalism and fortitude that catapulted him to the position of Acting Director General. He holds a master's degree in public administration and host of other professional certificates to his credit. He is a member of the Chartered Institute of Procurement, United Kingdom, since 2014. Responding to the committee on the changes he will bring, the nominee said the trajectory of growth had already begun, and that will be pursued in the directions of expansion and reducing the turnaround time, with the overall aim of bringing quality service delivery. He promised to improve on human resources, potential to serve the port as hub in the sub-region. Mrs. Judy Cosset. Proposed Deputy Director General, Sierra Leone Ports Authority. Thank you. Madam Judith Boy Cosset is a professional with wealth of experience across several sectors. She is social development expert who is very passionate about youth empowerment. She acquired her bachelor's degree with honors in third world development with NGO management from the University of East London, United Kingdom in 2008. She later pursued a Master's of Arts degree in Youth and Community Work from the University of East London, United Kingdom. From September 2022 to July 2023, she was Director of Community Affairs at the Leone Metal Group Sierra Leone, where she developed and implemented strategies and initiatives that improve community relationships. Her hard work and interpersonal skills earned the admiration of the President for the said position at the Sierra Leone Port Authority. Responding to committee, the nominee promised to work with the Director General to achieve revenue mobilization and optimal service delivery at all times. Recommendation, Honorable Members, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Members, the committee adjourned the following presidential nominees to be suitably qualified for the proposed appointment, and they are therefore accordingly recommended to the House for approval. 1. Mr. Andrew Jaya Kaikai, proposed Executive Director, National Drugs Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA. 2. Mr. Joseph Boba Tucker, proposed Director, Board of Directors, National Mineral Agency, NME. All right. 3. Mr. Erin Mustafa Sheku, proposed Deputy Commissioner, National Children's Commission. 4. Mrs. Alice Musu Lansana, proposed member, Board of Directors, National Mineral Agency. Mr. Yakuba Askiabiu, proposed Director General, Sierra Leone Port Authority. Mrs. Judith Cosset, proposed Deputy Director General, Sierra Leone Port Authority. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, this ninth report is a unanimous decision of the committee. I therefore move that the ninth report of the first session of the Committee on Appointment and the Public Service be adopted by the House and the recommendations contained therein be approved. Signed, read, faithfully submitted to this House for debate and consideration, Honorable Chief Matthew Sanyuma JP from Bukakajama, Bulambayama, I so submit.
Any seconder? Another chief? Honorable members, before I put the question, let me at this point recognize the presence of certain eminent personalities we have today. Honorable Edward Amin Soluku, you here? He was a former member of Parliament and the former Minister of Internal Affairs. Mr. Joseph M. Gevau, are you here? Professor Kefala Talon, Governor of Bank of Sierra Leone. Honorable Mansour A. Dumbuya, Honorable Mansour Duboya is the Chairman Board of Directors, Sierra Leone Ports Authority, and he is the SLP Lord of the West. Honorable Emmanuel Sagbeki, former Member of Parliament. Mrs. Nati Kakai, Mrs. Nati Kakai, can you please stand up for all to see? PC Andrew Ibrahim Jah Kakai. Honorable Sir Charles, are you here? Honorable Sir Charles, you gone out? Honorable Nero Ulansana. Mr. Alassane George of the Israeli Ports Authority. You are all welcome to the House of Parliament. Honorable members, the question is that the 9th report of the first session of the 6th Parliament of the Committee on Appointments and the Public Service be adopted by the House and that the recommendations contained herein be approved.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to join you by recognizing the Secretary General of the Great Sierra Papers.
Hold on. You should not be the one doing that. Please, except you want to come up there. Please sit down and recognize the Secretary General properly. Yes, at this stage, let me recognize the presence, particularly of one of the greatest lawyers of this nation and a very powerful Secretary General of the Grand Old Party, the great legal luminary, Omaro Napoleon Kroma. Let me also recognize the presence of Honorable Mohammed K. Tolly. Are you here? Former Member of Parliament. Honorable Dominic Bandi, are you here? You are all welcome to the House of Parliament. Of course, we all know that Mr. Omaro Napoleon Kroma is the Deputy Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources. If the SLPP is in power today, you all know his outstanding role. So he cannot come to this house and we do not recognize him. And I want to promise him that each time he enters this house, he will be recognized. So proceed. And for the deputy leader, except if you want to come and sit here, it's my role to recognize dignitaries and not you.
Thank you very much, sir.
It's not easy to be here, you know. Thank you very much. Deputy leader, proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to begin by thanking His Excellency the President for presenting to us, as usual, as per law, nominees that will help him achieving its agenda. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, as a parliament, our business is to help His Excellency the President to vet these nominees, making sure they are fit for the various offices they've been nominated to. I want to thank the Committee on Appointment and Public Service for doing due diligence and recommending them to this House for approval. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, to the nominees, you've been nominated from the many sierraleoneans that voted for His Excellency the President to help him in achieving his agenda. So at the end of the day, excuses will not be tolerated. Performance should be the order of the day. I have always said in this House, Mr. Speaker, that when nominees fail, we members of Parliament will suffer. Because at the end of the day, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, our faces will be on the ballot papers after 5 years. We'll have to face the constituents, we'll have to face the electorates, and the questions that will be put to us are the questions that should be answered by the executive arm of government. But at the end of the day, our constituents are of the strongest conviction that we members of Parliament are still responsible for primary development. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, when I see our constituents coming here to celebrate with appointees, I all of the time use the opportunity to tell them about our responsibility. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, before now, in the 60s and 70s, we members of Parliament, we are responsible for primary development. We are responsible to build schools, to build roads, to build bridges. But after the war, and after the TRC report was read, it was recommended, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, that these functions should be devolved from Parliament to the local councils. It was on that ground, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, that in 2004, the Local Government Act was enacted by this Parliament. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, ever since 2004, the function of development has been removed from this Parliament to the various local councils. But our people are of the strongest conviction that we, members of Parliament, are still responsible for primary development. That is why, when you go to them to campaign, the first thing they will ask you, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, SO2, now what you don't do for the people. Because they are still of the strongest conviction. And most of the time, Mr. Speaker, we are also, the council also scapegoatize us and the appointees, the executive arms. Because the councils are not able to perform their responsibility. They shift the burden on the parliamentarians. Mr. Speaker, honorable members from all of the sides, today the opposition are not here, the majority of the opposition are not here. But on our side, we lost almost 30 or more members of Parliament because they were not able to answer questions that the executive should have done. Mr. Speaker, I am sending this message strongly to the constituents, to you that are here, for you to know that the members of Parliament are not responsible for development any longer. I am saying it with authority and as a leader of this House, that government is not giving us a dime for us to take to you. Members of Parliament are taking loans. Members are taking overdrafts. Members are selling their cars and their houses for them to take primary development, which is not their responsibility. Because we know those that want to unseat us are the ones that take these bad messages to our constituents. So as members of Parliament, whenever we have an opportunity to to talk to our constituents, we should use it as a platform to educate them. Because the reason why the turnover is huge is because they don't know our rule, and if we don't explain to them, we will suffer what the others have suffered before us. So the appointees, if you don't perform, we are going to be the greatest losers. If we perform, ourselves and the presidency will be the beneficiaries of your performance. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, let me remind the appointees that your performance will keep us in governance after 2028. Your performance will kick us out of governance after 2028. The next election, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, is the transitional election. It's an election that will not benefit from an incumbency. In 2023, we had a president running as a candidate for the ruling party. So the next election is a transitional election, where they have a new candidate that will be running with our flag. If you perform, you'll be performing for the party, and you'll be performing for the next flag that will be marked as yourself. But if you fail, you are failing generations. You were failing the great old party, and you were failing the numerous sierraleones that are here to support you. Mr. Speaker, having said that, let me zero in on few of these nominees. I will begin, Mr. Speaker, with a younger brother I went to university with. I was on a far senior class with him, but coincidentally with time, we were in the same class doing our master's degree. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, when his name was called and we saw the applause from the gallery, we know he's a grassroots man. He's a man of the people. There's no other person but the man going as Director General of the Sierra Leone Port Authority. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I have known Mr. Yakuba Askibio when we were in secondary school. We attended the same school, the Central Secondary School in Chonli Park. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, he was my junior in school. But one thing I can say clearly is a respectful, humble young man. In school, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, he was one of the few young people that can interact, that can move around the school campuses and out of the school campus with seniors, because he was able to meander his way around us. And Mr. Speaker, we saw the huge potential in him from school days. When we went to university also, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, he was extremely popular even when he went to first year, and some of us went down third year. He was able to meander his way around the most senior students at Jala University. At the end of the day, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, if you ask the person who was doing his final degree, he will know who Yakuba is because he was a first year. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, that has catapulted him to where he is today. Mr. Bio, you'll be the youngest Director General in that office. You are going to be the first Director General in that office. Because, Mr. Speaker, the position of Director General was created almost towards the end of the last parliament. He was going to be the first person to join that office. Mr. Bio, that's a history you have made for yourself, for you to be the first Director General and the youngest Director General. Mr. Speaker, that is why I am very proud of His Excellency the President. The confidence, the boldness, the braveness His Excellency have enough as young people. That is the more reason as young people we should not disappoint him. Mr. Speaker, can you imagine that a man below 40 can be a Director General at a biggest institution like the That is the level of confidence His Excellency have with us. Mr. Speaker, we believe, and I want to tell the young man, as young people, we are the guinea pig for the young people of Sierra Leone. If we perform, future government, future presidents will bring in more young people into governance. But if we fail, we'll not just be failing ourselves as young people, we'll be failing the entirety of Sierra Leone young people. So we say, as Tabio, you've been selected, of course. We know you are a grassroots man. You know you've not forgot your peers. You've been around and you've been around with your peers. If you even notice the influence he has got as deputy GM to today, the people he has recruited are young people. And Mr. Speaker, one thing I like about this appointee, Mr. Speaker, this is a grassroots SLPP man. He is of the conviction that if SLPP loses election, he's not going to sit in that chair. He's of that conviction. So he's not just empowering the SLPP, he's empowering sierraleoneans. He's looking into the future. You are wish well. I hope you perform. You have a team, work with your team. Some of them are your fathers, some mothers, some friends, some colleagues, some age mates. Treat them with the utmost seriousness they deserve. Today you'll be lucky, you'll be chosen from the lot to head them. That doesn't make you better than them. You are just the head. Treat them as your colleagues. Treat them with the utmost respect they deserve. And tomorrow, they will be able to be given further offices. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, to the grassroots man, Mr. Andrew Jaya Kaikai. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, Mr. Andrew Jaya Kaikai needs no introduction. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, in 2017, Mr. Jaya came and contested to be a member of parliament representing Pujon districts. I can vividly remember he was passionate to come to parliament and wanted to contribute through this arm of government. But whatever God's plans is what he will deliver on. We all contested in 2018. He was not able to make it. I can still remember when we were in Bo for the second phase of the screening process for the Symbol Award. He was extremely very passionate to serve this house. Mr. Kaikai was blessed after he lost the symbol in 2018 and was given the position of CIO. All what he wanted to do as a member of parliament, he was able to deliver as CIO of this nation. That is why, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, today if you go to Boom, if you go to Kenema, you go to Kailao, you go to Pont, you go to Koyamba, you go to Bumbali, you will hear Andrew Jaya Kaikai. You go to the party office as well as Justice Chief, you will hear the name Andrew Jaya Kaikai loudly. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, Mr. Jaya Kaikai have been challenged by His Excellency the President. You've been challenged. I told you at the interview panel that you've been challenged. The position that have been given to you is very close to His Excellency, very close to the heart of His Excellency the President today. Mr. Speaker, it's no child's play. The rate at which young people are misusing drugs today is worrisome. It's extremely worrisome. Mr. Speaker, some few days ago, I said it in this way, that our constituents and young people in our constituents are suffering because of drug abuse, especially push. Mr. Speaker, when you go to our villages, I will single out my own chiefdom, Bauma chiefdom, especially Yamani. Mr. Speaker, 80% of the young boys in my village now take kush. It's so worrisome. I know it's the same story all over our chiefdoms. It's not unique to us. It's the same story all over. Some of us are even recommending that His Excellency declare the state of emergency on drugs. The rate at which our young guys are taking drugs is very worrisome. So, Mr. Andrew Kaikai, with your military background, With your military experience, we believe military officers should be the most disciplined in terms of actualizing their activities. And use your military experience to make sure you handle that area. Drug is being abused. I believe a lot of people say, oh, why has that road been moved from CIO to anti-drugs? I believe where it's going now is more challenged. Very challenged, and it's close to the heart of His Excellency. Please make sure you deliver the future of this country. Because if we continue the way we are doing now, very soon we'll have nobody taking over us. Because young people are now busy taking drugs. Go to Juba Bridge. Go to our communities. Everywhere, the drug abuse is in the increase. You have been challenged by His Excellency. We hope you deliver. And when you deliver, you are not just delivering for His Excellency the President, but you are delivering for every parent in Sierra Leone. Because for now, as parents, we are even scared to raise our children here. Even when you enroll them into the best schools, we are afraid for them not to be intoxicated in drugs. So you are now going to work for every Sierra Leone. All of us here in this room are parents, and our children are prone to taking these drugs. Please save us. Please save Mama Salone. Please make His Excellency proud. Please make the committee proud. And please make Sierra Leone proud. Because if you achieve, you'll be achieving for Sierra Leone, and you'll be achieving for His Excellency President. To the other nominees, to the Deputy Director General, going to SLP, one thing I know that you should copy from the Director General now is respect for authority, humbleness, and to make sure that you have the knowledge that you are deputy. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, for the last 5 years, that was one of the institutions we had no confusion with, because the deputy treated his boss as a boss. He was subordinate, he was respectful, and he treated every person that dealt with him with the utmost respect the person deserves. So to the deputy going to that office, just copy that step, and tomorrow God will bless you. Because when you serve people well, you'll be served one day. You've been given the deputy. Forget about age, forget about rank, forget about this woman thing. Respect your boss and treat every staff as your colleague. Nobody is inferior. You've been lucky to be chosen as Director General. You do not know more than them, but with their support, you'll achieve and you'll make all of us proud. To the two board members, you are wished well, you have a lot of experience. To my elder brother going in as a deputy at the National Commission for Children. Of course, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I have known Mr. Sheku for the longest time, from home through Freetown Abbey College, and we have always had a very good relationship. He's an elder brother. I have a lot of respect for him. I believe he will perform. He has a lot of experience in the area of human rights and dealing with children's issues. You'll be brought into your field. Make sure you deliver for us. One thing I can say clearly, as a government, we are under pressure to perform. And performance should be the key. With no excuses, we will not be tolerated. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I ask this House to approve these nominees the utmost speed they deserve. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Leader of Government Business. Yes, let me hear the voice of the lady.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the floor. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to say here this morning that all the nominees here are fine nominees and they are overqualified. I'm excited, particularly because this morning I see 2 women among the appointees. Unlike the last approval, they were all men. So today, I'm happy because I see women. Of course, His Excellency the President, I'm always thankful to him because he has given us the platform to work in the governance of this country. I want to thank him for the added value. I want to thank him for restoring our dignity. Thank you, Mr. President, for letting the men of Sierra Leone know that a woman's place is in governance as much as in the kitchen. Today, yes, you are all overqualified. Yes, you are all fine nominees, but let us not just shower praises on you. I want to advise you. Appointing you as nominees, the President consults this House for approval. But when he wants to fire you, he does not consult anybody. It is his prerogative to hire and fire. He only consults with this House to approve you. So as you are seated here today waiting for approval, my advice is, when you take those offices, these people cheering you up here, don't forget them. Some people say they are here today. Some of them have left their busy schedules. Some of them travel, they risk their lives to be here. But most of the time, when you are seated in those offices, you don't even pick their calls. It is not every call that comes from us, grassroots. I'm one of them. That is a recall of request or for request. Sometimes we have important issues to discuss with you, but you don't pick calls. Some even say, so to me not to party first in Ayao, that government I can't work for. Who gave you the job? It is because the Sierra Leone People's Party is in power that you are appointed to that office. Even if you are professor, if SLPP is not in power, you will not acquire the positions we're about to take if approved. So, my advice to you is to be with the grassroots. You know what? We don't hire, but we can fire you. Because the length of His Excellency is very good, and his ears are very good too. He listens to our cries. Sometimes he does not come out to say, this is why I sacked him or her. But honestly, you see these people here, they can fire you. Our grumblings can fire you. Our grumblings can get you removed from your positions, and we don't want that. Just like my honorable colleague said, when you are fired, it reflects on us. It means the appointment committee especially did not do their jobs well. So please, 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 I have no doubt in those 2 women and seen on the list of appointees. My special guard friend, Judith Kose, continue to be humble. Humility pays. I know there is a very big age gap between you and your boss. But honestly, with the kind of person you are, I know you will work amicably. And there will be a very cordial relationship in that office. I want to talk to all of you that those offices, there are people in those seats before you occupy them now. Whatever took them out of that office or those offices, only His Excellency can explain. So please, please, you are all very fine people. Of course, Mr. Jaya Kaikai is a people's person. He is my partner and friend. I know what he can do. I'm not even worried about him. I know what he can do. So, Mr. Henry Sheku, I saw you growing up. Your father was a very disciplined principal of CKC. I know you personally, and I saw you growing up. I have no doubt in you. Please, that office is for the youths in particular. And you know how bloody they can be. Keep your doors open. Talk to them. Answer to their calls. I know it will be very difficult for you if demands comes, but I believe if you talk to them, they will say, yes, he listens to us. It's not easy to say, okay, I don't hear you, I will see what you will do. But sometimes, when you just ignore people, they feel sick. So, I want you, all of you seated here today, I am not here to shower praises on you and just sit down. I want to talk to you to please, please, please open your doors to party people in particular. You are in those offices today because SLPP is in power. God forbid anything happens tomorrow, you will not be there. So don't say, I'm offering a national duty, I'm not a political person. You are a political person. If you know you are not a politician, the moment you are appointed, just take the phone and tell the secretary to the president that I cannot take it, I'm not a politician. As soon as you take any job, appointment from His Excellency the President, from that moment you become a politician, and you are a politician, and you are a politician. Thank you all for listening.
Let me at this stage recognize the presence of other dignitaries we have here today. Mr. Lexman Kroma, are you here? You're welcome. Mr. Batilo Soga. Madam Fatmata Sawane, are you here? Mr. Mundar Sandi, former MD Salwako, are you here? And Mr. Gassim Touré, businessman. You are all welcome. Yes, sir. Let me hear the voices of ladies today. Yes, Mrs. Soga.
Thank you.
You know, I'm a he for she. Yeah, let me hear the voices of ladies today. Yes, Minnesota, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, my colleague from the other side will say we are here again today. We're here to approve other nominees from the President. Mr. Speaker, I will be very, very brief. I want to thank His Excellency for giving us these fine nominees.
Hold on, after you, Mase Aruna.
Mr. Speaker, this Parliament haven't had shortage of approving nominees. My leader has spoken, and I think he spoke a lot of things that we wanted to speak about with regards what is expected of members of Parliament, what is expected of the executive arm of government, and what we expect from the nominees. So I will not go to that area. Mr. Speaker, I want to wish everybody well in their offices as they hopefully will be approved today. But Mr. Speaker, I want to zoom in. I want to zoom in on somebody that I only got to know a few minutes ago. That person is my constituent, that's Mr. Toka. Mr. Toka, I'm very keen with NMA. The reason being, our people back home do a lot of mining. My constituency, from which you hear from, do a lot of mining, but we don't get the benefits of mining at all. You give license to miners, they go dig a lot of holes in our communities, they leave them uncovered. The risk, the hazards that they expose our constituents to are huge. We know you sent monitors to monitor what's happening in our constituencies. But Mr. Tucker, what I want to bring to your knowledge is the fact that most of the monitors that you send there are compromised. They are not doing what they're meant to be doing. So please, when you go to your office, we want to enjoy the benefits of our labor. My people are crying hugely. And I know that goes for a lot of communities in this country. Please do what you can to ensure our people reap what they're working for. Mr. Speaker, let me be very brief now in thanking Mr. Jaya Kakai. You know why, Mr. Speaker? I want to thank Mr. Jaya Kakai because only a grassroots man can identify another grassroots man, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank Mr. Jaya Kakai because he made it possible today. It's not every day, Mr. Speaker, that you are at work and you get to see your husband every minute. I've got that privilege today. My husband is just sitting there watching me every second. And it's due to Mr. Jaya Kakai. Thank you, Mr. Jaya Kakai. He's watching me and I'm watching him. You know, you don't get those privileges every day. But on a very serious note, Mr. Speaker, a few weeks ago, I saw on social media, I don't always go on social media, but I saw on social media a difference of when Mr. Jaya Kakai was in the immigration building and a difference of now that the immigration building have been cleaned. But let me tell you something that we miss in this country. They don't understand why that immigration office was jam-packed. They saw the crowd, but they don't know who that crowd was for. People are not idle, Mr. Speaker. So just wake up today and say, I'm going to... I don't even understand how they climb those stairs. But what I know for our people is that they are not idle to just go to immigration office to sit there every day. They are going there because there is somebody that is a people's person in that office. Mr. Speaker, they are going there because their own was there. Jaya Kakai, the people's person. Mr. Speaker, like Mr. Jaya Kakai, if you go to any grassroots man's office, you will see the same crowd. I will not name them here, but you will see the same crowd. When you love your people will show you twice or 3 times that love. Mr. Jaya Kakai is simply one of the best grassroots men this country have produced. But we cannot take that away from him. From sharing rice. Sometimes I always say I don't understand how they cope. Him and his brother, I don't know how they cope. But Mr. Speaker, these are the few politicians, when you go to their houses, their gates are always open. If it's for love, Mr. Jaya Kakai will be anywhere. If it's for love from the grassroots, he is a fine gentleman. I know him personally, and I admire his courage. His discipline is what I know is going to save us in this country, because the way he is disciplined, going to that drug, Mr. Speaker, my leader was talking just now about push. I am positive that very soon, that will be a talk of a past. Because Jaya Kakai will do what is needed to be done. And I am sure the people importing drugs in this country will soon realize that the government is serious about stopping them, and that the no-nonsense person, Jaya Kakai, is now in charge. And they will stop. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, it's not every day you see nominees here that resonate with the grassroots. So when we see them, This is our own platform where we have to say to them, thank you. Mr. Jaya Kakai, I want to say to you, thank you for what you do. Thank you for being a grassroots person. Thank you for being a people's person. And thank you for loving your party, SLPP. Thank you for loving Sierra Leone. Continue to do what you do best. I wish you all the best as you go into your new office. And I am very confident that you will succeed. Don't forget your people as you've always done. Yesterday, somebody was saying to me that your house up to the street was full. I didn't get to see, but I know your people were cheering you up. We are with all the best. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
After Marseille, Honorable Sama, after Honorable Sama, the member of the House. Proceed. And after the member of the House, we round up.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I appreciate the Speaker today for recognizing and giving we the women the space to hear our voice in this House today. I hope and believe that you will continue to give us these opportunities as we always yearn for them. Let me also appreciate our President for giving us these beautiful and handsome nominees. They are all qualified, they are overqualified, and they are capable. I have no doubt in them. Especially the director, Mr. Presidentbio. I know him personally. I know what he has done to see the SLPP in power. Before President Bio becomes the president of this country, Mr. Presidentbio was a young man mobilizing his colleague youths all over this country just to see that Tijan Kaba government came to success, and after which his uncle became the president, whom he is up till now supporting. Mr. Presidentbio, your deputy, Madam Judith, is a quiet woman, slow but sure. She believes in action. And I know with you people in that office, you will create a very good working environment for your workers or your colleagues. And to all other nominees, you are going to go to those various offices. You are not going there to represent your district. You are going there to represent your district, your region, your political party that you belong to. Because you can't say you are not going there to represent your political party, no. But again, bear it in mind that you are going there to work to represent Sierra Leone and all Sierra Leoneans, be it SLPP, APC, C4C. I am pleading that you copy the good example of our president. He has no barrier, no boundary. He only gives us opportunity. He looks for the best. And the opportunity is given to we the members that knows that he is a hardworking president, he is a responsible president, he has love for his people. You are going there today. We are here praising you people, and you are here for your approval. We honorable members, we have 5 years in Parliament. Until after the 5 years, our people up the gallery will sign us off. They will say, Honorable Marseille, we want you to go and serve another 5 years again. They will say, no, we don't want her because she was not a very good honorable member. She never go down to her people. She don't want to know what's wrong with her people. But as for you, you are directly answerable to the president of this country. He appoints you and he disappoints you. And when he disappoints you, You don't question him. He has no question to answer. So my appeal to you again is, you create a very good relationship with we, the honorable members of parliament. We are partners in development. Consult us. All of you belong to different constituencies, to different districts. You are coming from various districts. When you are doing any development in your district, please hang heads with the honorable members in that district. Invite them. Let them be part and parcel of your development. Let them be part and parcel of your program. When we knock at your door, open your doors. Listen to us. Pick the sense out of the nonsense that we say to you. But I know that we don't say nonsense. We do say sense. We are all responsible people. And we are brothers and sisters in this country. That is why we believe in one country, one people. For the success of this government, we all need to come together. Let us join hands to develop Mama Salon. Elections are over. We are now thinking about development. And until we all come together, we think together, we share our ideas before we get there. So on that note, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I am pleading to this honorable house to please approve our brothers and sisters for them to go and live back in the various offices.
Thank you very much, Honorable Marcia. Honorable Sama, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. A few days ago, we are in Leone to receive this excellency. I did a lot of cheering, I lost my voice. Thank God I'm gradually regaining my voice. Mr. Speaker, in 2018, I took a decision not to join any political party. Whilst serving this house as an independent MP, I was impressed by the leadership style of His Excellency the President. I saw in all the appointments across regional lines, ethnic lines, he portrayed that image of the true sierraleone of the patriot. So when His Excellency the Presidentbio made a clear call to all Sierraleoneans to join him to develop this country, I told independents in my constituency that we have to join this man. This man loves Sierra Leone, he loves Sierra Leone. I've had a number of contact, direct engagement with His Excellency. Each time I was impressed by his desire to unite Sierra Leoneans. It was based on this that we decided that we have to be SLP. Today I stand here as a very proud SLP. Mr. Speaker, I'm saying this because before us here are very good people. I've seen a number of appointments in this house under different regimes. I'm very much impressed by all the appointments made by His Excellency. Today, I'm a very happy man. Before me is a man who was my teacher, my chemistry teacher. Also before me, I have two of my constituents who are also very good people. I'm going to start with my teacher and my father, a man we called in school the Big Joe. Today, I refer to him as the biggest Joe. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, Mr. Joseph Tucker was a very good teacher. He was also disciplined. Mr. Tucker was a role model. We wanted to be like him. He was very serious with his work. He was always in class. He gave us a lot of assignments. And he made us work very hard. Today, I'm really, very much grateful to His Excellency for appointing my teacher and my father. This has a lot of implications. Mr. Tucker started as a teacher, he became a mining engineer, he's now a retired person. When people are retired, they are not tired. It is good that His Excellency has been reason to identify people who have worked very hard, who are not retired, but are still have energy to serve this country. The National Minerals Agency was formed in 2012 as part of an effort to reform that institution, the mining industry, Mr. Speaker. There is need for us to have an agency that will ensure that the Mines and Minerals Act and other mining related acts and regulations are implemented. We have a lot of mining companies in our country, Mr. Speaker. We are gaining enormously from these companies, but also some of them are causing damages in the environment, to the communities. We need an agency that can monitor the activities of these companies to ensure that they perform according to the provisions of the Act. I'm sure Mr. Toka, my teacher and my father, is in a very good position as a director to ensure that the laws of this land are followed. And I want to thank the President for making a very good choice in the person of Mr. Toka, who have grown to be a very serious person. He was a very serious teacher and a very serious mining engineer, and can swear to the rule program that will be a very good director. I will now come to my brother, Mr. Andrew Kakai. Mr. Andrew Kakai was a soldier. I left this country and went to the Gambia. He also left for the US and came back to join the politics of this country. Since he came back home and joined the politics in the Gambia, he has changed the political landscape in this country. This man is very good. I'm not saying what other things about him, I'm saying what I've observed about Mr. Keke. I have no apologies to make for what I'm saying about the man that I've come to know very well. I remember when I was detained, he was the only person from Leone district who visited me in detention. He went to me and we spoke a lot. I have a lot of, you do not forget friends that you have when you are in difficulty. Mr. Kaka is the person, even as an independent, he has no borders, Mr. Speaker. He is a man who relates well to every individual of the district. Mr. Kaka is a grassroots man, he's a very generous man, he's a hard worker. Mr. Kaka, I think your appointment to this office is a promotion, but I know you to be a problem fixer. All over the world, the issue about drugs is dramatic. It is destroying youth all over the world. The president, in his wisdom, thinks that he needs a very strong person and to be in charge of fighting these people. And he has seen in you a soldier, he has seen you a person of dedication, you are passionate about your job. We need somebody like you to fight drug abuse. So I think it's a promotion. When the president feels that we need a very strong person to fix this problem. We went to immigration, there were a lot of problems, we were able to fix them. And Mr. Speaker, Mr. Eka is a very respectful person. Whenever members of this house go to immigration to acquire documents, he is very supportive and ensure that we get those documents in very and we know that our work is critical because not two people put in there. If you went to his waiting room, you have people from all walks of life. We attend to everybody, regardless social status. So we need people like him to run this country, Mr. Speaker. So I'm very happy that the guy is again being posted to a problem area. I'm sure we'll be able to fix that problem. Mr. Keke, rest assured that we are with you and we'll be able to support you 24 hours. We are very proud of you as people from Leone district. You have made our district very proud. Thank you very much. I come to another constituent, Mr. Sheku. Mr. Sheku is a very good person, Mr. Speaker. He works very hard. He does not speak too much. He's a man of action. And I'm very, very proud that a man named Mr. Sheku is being appointed to serve this nation. The issue about children is very critical. The children, our children are future leaders of tomorrow. They are very critical. We need to take very good care of them. It's not just about appointing people to manage the affairs of children. We need people who have passion to work for our children, to work for the future of this country. Mr. Sheku is one of those persons. I heard my sister talk about party loyalty, Mr. Speaker. I want to make a point of correction. Mr. President has appointed people that are not SLPP. Mr. President has appointed people that are APC. The appointment of Mr. President cuts across our party line. Those who are SLPP can continue to be loyal to SLPP. But what Mr. President wants appointees to do is to be loyal to the state, to serve this country. There is no way this country can develop and leaving a part of the country behind. We either prosper together or perish together. Mr. President is a nationalist, is a patriot. His emphasis is on party, is on national unity. His emphasis is on loyalty to the state, Mr. Speaker. And like my sister said, we have to remain in governance. We have to protect the legacy of this excellence. And what we do as MPs, not only appointees, we also have a role to play in our oversight responsibility. We should make sure we do oversight with a lot of care, with a lot of commitment. It should never be business as usual, Mr. Speaker. If we really do our work very well, this thing we don't have much work to do. So we are supposed to be overseeing the activities of the MPs. We should go there to make sure that funds allocated to them are used judiciously. We should ensure that they are doing their work, Mr. Speaker. We should only encourage the appointees to support the president. We as the MPs should lead in supporting the president. And it should be teamwork. The president will never do it alone. He needs the appointees, he needs us as elected officials to help him to govern this country. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And for the other ladies, somebody said, and there were only male appointed for us. HE has been very respectful of the laws about gender representation. He has ensured that before this house, we have had appointees that are both males and females. He has ensured that in all his appointments, for every 3 persons, there are at least one female. So I want to thank you for that. We have to make sure we walk our talk. That's exactly what our talk and do President is doing. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving this opportunity. And to all the appointees, let's work very hard to push this house forward. Thank you very much. Thank you. I want to call this house to approve the nominees as they are very good nominees that will help HE to push this country forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sama. Honorable members, I have just been informed that the Honorable PC Ode Stephen Faba of the Kenema district is extremely ill. And in the circumstances, I urge you all to stand briskly. Let's observe the moment of silence for speedy recovery.
Esse aí, né? Só que a menina teve um problema.
Amen. Let's Honorable Veronica Kalisi say.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I'm happy to just pay a little bit of lip service to these fine nominees. I was part of them during the interview. We interviewed them, and the resume they gave was perfect, and it speaks volume. So if we say we are going to talk about them, we'll keep on saying it to everybody will talk good. We'll sleep here. So the fact is, it's just to tell them or to give them word of caution. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, you are all overqualified. You are qualified for the job. Because if you are not qualified, I know the president, I know our president. He knows who to put where and what to do. You are fitted for the job. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, let me just zoom in to Mr. Henry Sheku. Henry Sheku Jr., I always call you. I have known you for the past years, even when we are at that place. You know, we study people. We see them when they rise as young boys. In Bo, when they are young boys, I have no doubt. But the place you are going is very much important. Deputy Commissioner for Children. Our children are out there, street children. You have a lot to play. You have a lot to do. You have a lot to add. You are going as a deputy. You are not going to go and sit and wait. You have to work with your boss so that you can do what is needful for the children. There are so many children waiting out there. If you go at night, in the evening, you see them lying under the tables or even carrying loads for other people. That should be your paramount duty, to make sure we get these children out of the street. Whatever plans or whatever ideas, whatever expertise that you can do to make sure these children are being placed. I think this is the very reason why our speaker asked the ladies to talk today, because it's the voice, we the mothers, we carry the bulk of the problems for our children. So that is why he has asked us today to give us the opportunity, with due respect to our he for she's. He has more respect for you, and he knows you can do it. But let us talk to them as mothers. Please go and do the needful. Let me talk to SO2 Ndweikwe. I know the Wanjamerians are happy today. They're happy. Because if you go to Pujel, if they call it Ndweikwe, Pewala, SO2, that person is really good. And you have done it. You have proved it. And let me say, patient dog eats the fattest bone. When some people are saying you are out of job, you are this or that, if president sees that there is some other area that you can do it more perfect than where you are, I think he has the utmost concern to call you home to go and do justice for him. And now at this time in this country or all over the world, we are talking about drugs, the abuse, the intake of push, using human bones and other things. And now you are going there. Our children are dying there. You see them having these spots on all over their bodies. Please, make sure the dealers, go after the dealers. Let us find ways how we can bring some policies to do justice for these children. Go after the dealers. Those who are bringing all these substances, they should be punished, they should be named and shamed in this country. But SO2, when you talk by the bone, talk by the flesh. People are saying that the takers should not be punished. They should be punished somehow. Because if you have a bad boy, anytime he goes out, he causes trouble. And when he comes to pamper that person, it will continue. So let us find ways how we can cajole, how their own punishment. There are funds. We have to create funds so that these people who takes, if you are sleeping, when you wake up now, you will be in the farm. You will give you food, but you do something there. So if we just leave them with going unpunished, they will continue to do it. And also, I know some people out there will not be happy to hear this. The problem again is us. Because you see them sleeping on the street, and they will ask you, what they are. You give them 10 leons or 2 leons or whatever leons you give them. They will go and buy that push. But the best you can do is to just cajole them to make sure to talk to them the way that they can stop to take this push. I remember one day I went to the market. The boy was running after me, Mama, hungry for me. Give me money. I said, I will not. Stop to smoke, stop to drink this push. You have a role to play in this country. Please. Now you have the applause from the people out there, knowing that you are doing justice to them. And I want to say thank you for appreciating His Excellency. Because this applause that you are giving shows that will encourage His Excellency that this man that are giving this job will do justice. And I want to say thank you. You are not just there, you have left all your busy schedules to come and witness this great occasion. I want to say thank you, and may the Lord carry you safe and sound. And also to the youngest director. The youngest director, DG, Bio. And let me say, Bio is a household name. You make and unmake. That's the name. People will follow the name. And now it's an enviable seat. You have to be very careful in that institution. Work together. And I'm happy, and I want to say special thanks to His Excellency for the couple, for the zipper system, one man, one woman. That is what we want to see in this country. Let us see the role of a woman. Let us see the motherly advice that she will give to you. And I know if she gives you the advice, knowing you, very humble, I know you take it. And when a mother or a woman gives you that advice, if he says, let us do this, don't do this, please adhere to that. Work together as a team. You will succeed. Listen to them. Listen to the workers whom you have met there. Some people, they might be happy. Some are not happy. But God has chosen you today. You are the leader. You have to make use of it. You have to be newborn. Work with the people. And so, my brothers and sisters out there, yes, we are saying open doors, open your windows for the party people. They are representing the party, and also you want the party to succeed in 2028. Give him chance to work. Give him chance to work. And you should have time to talk to you people. But if they say now, open doors and windows, if you don't give him chance, how can he work? Let us give him that chance. When there is time to see, he will go there. I know him. He will talk to you people. And have started, to work with the youths out there. People are there, volunteers are there. Show them what you can do. Because I cannot say recruitment now, because there are limitations. But you should know, they are casual workers. There are other areas, Bolori is there, the other areas are there. If you have time to talk to them, so that they can engage these ones that are saying, Bobo, they are, keep them somewhere, casual, they can do something. But go and do your work. Judith, you have a role to play. We rely on you to advise that young man. We rely on you to show your motherly love. We rely on you so that other women will follow. We know there are other substantive positions that are coming, and deputies are going to be women. I know that's the president that we have. With the others, the other lady and my teacher, as stated by my honorable, I know a teacher is always a teacher. I know you do justice. And at least you are going there to look and to study. Give your advice. You have vast experience. You have worked in so many places. You have to extend the olive branch to those whom you are meeting. So with that, I want to say congratulations in advance. And we are coming. We are not just there as an appointment committee. We too have right to go and oversee. We do oversight. Because you state so many things. I have done that. I'll go do this. I'll do that. We'll go there to see. So that will tell you what to do. But for Andrew, you have enormous respect. That I will not hide it. You have respect. You carry it. You show that you are coming from, you know, a chief background, and in Pujel they say do it. Show the people that you are doing it. Show president that you can do it. Show president that where you have placed me, I will do more, so that there are more better days again that are ahead of you. So with that, I want to say congratulations to my young director and deputy. Go and do justice. I don't envy you, but let me tell you, that seat is an enviable seat. Do justice, be lukewarm, share, teamwork, and do everything humanly possible to make the bills succeed. Thank you very much.
We were supposed to round up, but I can't resist the paramount chief and of course the very old MP. So I'll allow the two of them. The paramount chief and Honorable Kaisamba. Can you do that in 5 minutes each? Okay. Let's start with the paramount chief, then Honorable Kaisamba.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to use this opportunity to thank the President for critically selecting and nominating these highly qualified personnel to the South for approval. With their resume, I have every confidence that all of them will deliver. I want to zoom in quickly to Mr. Anujaya Kakai. To me, Mr. Jaya Kakai is more of a philanthropist than a politician. That is the only man that his relationship with people has no limitation. He can dine and live with all kinds of people. He sometimes be done with physically challenged people. In fact, to me, what I need him for, he spent more of his resources in taking care of physically challenged people. I could remember this year, later I knew that he has been doing it over the years. He bought so many plastic sheets, SO2, tarpaulin, for physically challenged people to go and make temporary shelters in order to prevent them from directly fall. I wish he can develop interest in agriculture because he feeds people. He has always been feeding people almost every Saturday. 80 to 90% of physically challenged people visit his compound for food. So Mr. Jack, in as much as you are going to control the drug abuse, but please also develop interest in agriculture so that you can feed people who look at food. Mr. Jack, I know him as no-nonsense man. I know him as no-nonsense person. And I believe the President didn't do any mistake to appoint you in that office. And I want to assure you that this House, in collaboration with all paramount chiefs, will work with you to ensure that we identify those who bring in harmful drugs so that we can control drug abuse, especially foods. It's becoming alarming every day, every moment. It's a concern even for the Parliament. It's a concern for all of us as paramount chiefs because our children have died over there. But those who bring in drugs are not minor people. We know that there are people with high caliber, with so much money. But let us strategize the mechanism that we can run after those who bring in the drug instead of those who take the drug. That short note, I want to congratulate you in advance. Thank you.
Honorable Kaisamba.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I will be very, very brief. The nominees, Mr. Speaker, are hugely qualified. Like it has been stated, they are stoutly qualified. I was part of the team that interviewed them. They were scrutinized. They were properly graded on their documentation. And the presentation done by the leader of government business was a true reflection of what occurred in the committee room number 1. So there is no doubt to the guys' qualification. But there are huge jobs out there for these nominees, if approved by this plenary, for them to do. For example, as a country, we are struggling with revenue. The NRA is struggling to collect the required revenue, which the government can use for pay for its services. And so, the nominees to the port, the Director General and his deputy, they've been there before now. They have to work assiduously with the NRA to ensure that as a country we collect the required revenue so that we can be able to pay for our services. After the 2020 elections, a lot of challenges have been going through as a country, to the point that development partners are dictating what we should do or what things we should not do. Some are practically interfering into our electoral processes. This is a result of them paying for some of our services. So there is a need. They know their terms of references, for example. I think they have tax to continue to expand the port. They have authority to continue to work with the NRA so that goods coming into Sierra Leone, the importers can pay for their goods. They have to pay, we have to pay our taxes. And the port has a big role to play. So we continue to urge them that they work as a team and they work with the board to ensure that the required revenues are collected because they are needed. Of course, we spoke, or a lot have been said with regards Mr. Kai and the institutions to which he has been appointed to. In the committee room, we admonish him to repeal and replace the laws on drugs in this country. They are basically emphasizing because those laws are old and outdated. They are archaic. They have to be repealed. And for us as a parliament, we are more than ready to see that Mr. Kai work with the relevant other institutions to ensure that those laws are brought to parliament. And as a parliament, we can ensure that we look at them and they are passed, but in the best interest of the people of this country. Because you can only fight if you have the required laws and you work with other institutions like the police and other law enforcement institutions to hit hard on particularly the importers of these drugs and of course the intakers. And the law probably, you make other provisions for rehabilitation of young people or young persons who may have been taking these drugs or who may be very, very innocent. And we make the penalties very, very tough and strong so that importers will stop bringing them. Because for them, it's a business and it's a bad business for this country. So I'm sure he will continue to do all of those. For the two nominees going to the NMA board, you know, as a country, we've been known for minerals in this country for over decades. But the benefit is not commensurate to the amount of minerals we have in Sierra Leone. But until very recently, that even communities have started benefiting the minerals that are coming from their areas with the various amendments we've done in this parliament. And so these are very knowledgeable people by their resume, by the documentation presented. The two board members, two nominees to the board, they will be meeting a team. There must be a board chairman, other board members. And the role of the board is to provide, to pave the way, give a policy guideline, give a direction to the institution, the NMA, to function, to ride. So they have to put their expertise, the things they've learned over the years, so that we'll continue to benefit from our minerals in this country. It's appalling that it is stated that we are rich in minerals, and yet we are poor, and our communities are not benefiting much. The man going the deputy to the Children's Commission, of course, you have a boss, but most of these drugs, again, you have to work with the other institutions, including the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, because children equally are involved in the consumption of drugs. So we have to collaborate across the board with institutions so that you sensitize the children. You talk to other players for them to know that these drugs are harmful, they should stop taking them, and of course, the enforcement will come, but we have to sensitize them across the board. You have Herculean attacks, because our future, the young generation, is under attack across Sierra Leone. And until we stop them from continuing to take these harmful substances, like I mentioned the other day, there will be disaster in this country. And so, those are the pieces of advice I wish to give the nominees. Otherwise, I wish them well, and I hope this House will speedily ratify them and for them to go to their various offices. I thank you so much.
That's the leader of the opposition.
No.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I'd like to thank His Excellency for getting these wonderful nominees appointed to different positions in government. But I'd like to just keep it very short and focus on two nominees. I see Mr. Kaikai, you're the man of the people. I see that you give your last to people. What people have seen, I haven't seen a crowd like this being in this house, in and outside. And I think you're the right man for this job, because you give your all with what I've heard so far. And we need people like you in this government to look after our people. You have compassion in your heart to go above and beyond to make sure that our kids and our future generation will not destroy their lives. As you see different parts of the country, especially if you go to Timbertown, downhole, you see about 300 to 400 young men and young women at a certain time, during the daytime, broad daylight, smoking kush. It's a safe haven to smoke kush during the daytime, and our police are not doing nothing about it. And if you go under the Juba Bridge, just like my honorable member said, it's another safe haven for people to smoke kush. And right now, the importers are in hiding right now because of the recent crackdown. But you know what you heard they say in Sierra Leone, after 2-3 months of police cracking down on things, after 2-3 months they go back to the normal routine. And this has to be stopped. Our kids' lives are on stake. It seems like everybody's forgetting about these are the future generation. So we need to, as you going into this business, you going into this job, I'm begging you to focus on these importers. They cannot be left off the hook after 2-3 months of a crackdown. You need to make sure that you get them out of this business, because our kids' lives are at stake. And there's one more, Mr. Henry Sheku for the spokesperson for National Children's Commission. Our children are on the streets late at night, 11 o'clock, selling fruits and vegetables and things on the streets, which they should be at home getting ready for school the next day. With His Excellency's free the school free education, they need to be at home getting ready for school, but they're in the streets selling fruits and taking care of the house, helping to bring income for the house. And this needs to be stopped. Our kids are on the street till 2 o'clock in the morning because they know that water, the tap opens up at 2 o'clock in the morning for them to get water. All these things, and they're getting abused and raped and molested in the street 2 o'clock in the morning. The child needs to be at home, in bed, sleeping. But again, these lapses we need as government, and I'm praying that you guys are coming in as with these committees, with these appointments, that you crack down on them and make sure that our children are protected. I don't like to talk a lot. I just want to thank Mr. Speaker, and I wish you guys the best of luck. Let God protect and guide you, and again, just like me, you put your country first, not your party. You make sure that your country comes first. Because again, tomorrow you never know. Even though His Excellency thinks you guys are the best, proves to the world that you're here for your country and your people. And thank you very much.
The leader of government business.
Rosso. No.
Mr. Speaker, first let me use the opportunity to say thanks to you for showing your understanding for the delay of sitting beyond the normal time. I want to also say thanks to my colleagues for showing a strong understanding. And Mr. Speaker, you did the needful to adjourn to the House for some minutes. But let me, before I talk to my nominees, to talk to the members of the 4th Estate. Members who are trust so much, I have confidence that she will obey the rule of law. And they are already part of my committee, when I'm in the committee room 1. With the respect I have for them, because if you want to pass the information and see people are well informed, you need to use the members of the 4th Estate. Mr. Speaker, but I get the principles for you to do publications when proceedings are going on. And I did, Mr. Speaker, admonish my colleagues who have been working with for over how many years in this parliament. But some we obey, some they will definitely obey. Just like you have good lawyers and bad lawyers. But you always have good parliamentarians because we represent our people. That's why we are called honorable members. But Mr. Speaker, with one of my nominees I'm presented to you today, somebody violating provisions of the Standing Orders SO75 for premature publications. I raised up the issue because we are still under discussion, but the issue in question is not properly detailed in the form. So we said, and frankly, as my nominee was at the committee, he was very clear and he was very sincere and transparent in addressing the issue. And he said, Mr. Speaker, let me tell you, he declared his assets, talking about gifts given to him, and he did not deny it. He said 2 things. One, this by gift I've declared is also in the anti-corruption form. 2, whether we don't know the intricacies or the integrity of how do you do it. But what we know, we ask simple questions, like anybody in class 1 John is going to school. And we asked, we said, can you attest to the fact that gifts you are giving to you when you're in office? And the nominee said, yes, Mr. Chairman. Indeed, when I was the head of the immigration, I did receive gifts. And these are the gifts I received. How a humble servant. How somebody who's sincere and trying to pave his own way. What we call people are finding this nation to do image cleansing. It has not still been cleansed. But there are people who are very meticulous in dealing with their image. Such person, you cannot bring him down. As Shepherd once said, let me use the word of Rastafari. said, it's not easy to bring a good man down. If the person is good, it's good. I am not sharing praises of the nominee, but I just want people to understand, my colleagues in this chamber, that we did discuss issues concerning every item on the form. I did discuss them with my nominees. But for you to do premature publications, and it is quoted me, say, yes, I did ask for further clarification. And it was with the journalists to come back to me, to ask me, because I said it in the opening. I made reference to two, SO75 and SO80. I do have respect for the press, because they must give them the space to operate. But if you want to do publications, because I don't want you to quote us wrongly, and to also follow the proceedings of the committee, you need to come to me. So proper edification can be done. But you know, as usual, everybody is honest. Everybody is moving right around now. As long as you can write, say I'm a journalist, I can do what I feel like doing. But I'm not going to really take action this time. There are institutions, if you feel like probing, it's up to you. But for us here, Parliament, when necessary actions are taken, when we raise the issue, because this Parliament is a very progressive Parliament, I raised the issue, and I said I need corrections, and he came back to me. So far we can go, I've handled that one. And the decision was taken with my colleagues that what you have done is progress. But Parliament itself, in this Constitution, Section 94 gives us the power to regulate ourselves. So Parliament itself, by provision of the Constitution, gives us the power to have the standing orders, which we have. Even those who are not coming to Parliament, which I hope they will come based on what you have done, the provision in Section 77 of the Constitution makes it very clear for us to form our standing orders to regulate us. So whatever embarrassment my nominee has faced, I want to say sorry to him, but we accept the procedure to take place. Whatever publication you have done it with bad intent, not from the spirit that we discussed at the chamber, at the committee. But I expect that people revert to me. But let me assure you, I'm a person who can give less attention to certain detractors. So I'm going to give this one less attention. I should have moved a motion for violating SO 75. But let me allow, it is this very Parliament that legislated to give freedom of expression, to remove the obnoxious, seditious libel law from our law books, to say you can now practice freely. It is not a crime for you to practice. So with that same thing, with that spirit I have, I still give that person benefit for the doubt. But if a human being, if you believe in sanity, that person who made a publication without coming to me, let that individual, you can meet Mr. Kekai and talk to him. So I did not really do it with bad intention, but I did it because I wanted to hear something out from the committee. And I did not go through the chairman to clarify certain issues. Because he did say that I need clarification, further clarification. That he ended with that vote. But I'm not going to move the motion. But I also want to maintain a cordial relationship between Parliament, especially the appointment committee, with that of members of the 4th Estate. Mr. Speaker, in the same name, in the same vein of this said nominee, Mr. Jaya Kaikai, I did ask him relevant questions that pertaining to the two sections we have in the Constitution. Section 9 of the 1991 Constitution, the side note, educational opportunities or objectives, my memory can serve me well, which starts to do with education, the side note, Section 9. And also, brought to the fore, talking about the emergency, public emergency, Section 29 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, you are a practicing lawyer in this country. You know exactly what is happening. You know the rule of law is very important. And when we are faced with a crisis, with a menace affecting us, the best thing we can do is to turn to the legislation. So into the rule of law, how do we do and how do we handle? What steps are we going to take? So it is a combine of issues that we need to address when we're talking about enforcement of the drugs laws. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I heard you, I was not part of the chamber, but we are so IT savvy in parliament that I can hear you from any part I am in this parliament. So I heard all what you said. But this one is very serious. You see, we are here representing our people. But most of those who represent those who have come here to shout about Kai, those who have come here to shout about Askiabio, all of them are doing it in the zest of the spirit of political participation. But in the spirit of this participation, we have to protect these young people. We have to protect our generation. You don't use people. In politics, there are different levels of politics. At the upper symptom, you have the bigger players. At the middle levels, you have different players. At that level, it's like a pyramid, Mr. Speaker. The pyramid at the bottom is broad. These are the people. These are people who are supporting us. If things are going wrong, Mr. Speaker, how do we address it? Make strong laws, protect our generation, protect our nation. The use of harmful substances or taking in harmful substances. Talk about the marijuana, talk about the crack, talk about the cocaine, and the most stubborn one around now, all over the place is moving around us like a roaming lion. Is what we refer to as the bush. Yeah. But let me tell you, the man in question I'm talking about going to head this office, he has enough knowledge in the law field as you do, Mr. Speaker. He's a barrister and he has practiced for so long. Let me tell you, he explained to me, colleagues, I need your attention. This is an issue affecting us. So if he has taken somebody to help us, first, the rule of law must be observed, and enforcement of the rule of law. As I speak, there's not much from there. But what we discussed and the urgency that we need to address this issue, he said, there are two things we can look at. First, who are those importing? We should go after them. It is challenge to all of us that we should start going after them. There is nobody greater than the rule of law. It's only the law itself. There is no monster in our nation. Even His Excellency the President, we sing praise every other moment. It is the President the rule of law is going to obey. Even yet, the intention, as I cited to him, Section 9 about educational structure, Mr. Speaker, you know why you are sitting there? You are sitting there because you are carefully educated. And if things are going wrong, to erode the spirit of education, and this government, with the help of all members in the 5th Parliament, we have enacted laws to ensure that people benefit from free and quality education, which is in Section 9. We should have free education for our children going to school. If you are primary, junior secondary, and secondary. That is what we are doing. But if what we have done in good spirit is not going around, we are looking at it to be eroded because of certain elements within the society. We have not paid much justice to the provision in the Constitution. So he said, first, we should address those who are importing all of these harmful substances into drugs. We should target them. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. And we came down, Mr. Speaker. I said, what is your take on Section 29, the public emergency? I said, yes. Because when you bring the public emergency, you remember, in the 5th Parliament, we are addressing sexual harassment, rape, and etc., etc. The ladies are talking about it. You know what? The president said, I'm going to declare war on rape. And we said, aggravated sexual harassment is it's a treasonable offense. And you can be sentenced to death. The president was so harsh. You know, when you use the law and you try to enforce it, Section 29 public emergency, everybody will sit up. That announcement came from the president. So the intention of the president, doing consultation to do pronouncement of public emergency on these schools, etc., and other drugs, it behoves us. It's our responsibility as lawmakers to ensure that those things that are happening around these drugs addiction, we must stop the use of the rule of law. So when we declare that one, people will put money. State coffers to be directed towards fighting drugs abuses. And that is what we should do as lawmakers. So he said, we need all of these. But he said, convenient consultations will help us to combat the situation. He was not busy giving us some expertise, giving us his own idea. But he said, I will collaborate. That's the language. I will collaborate with other institutions. You have the police, you have the law, the judiciary. You need them. You cannot deal without them. Parliament, we have limitations. We do oversight and we make laws. Those who enforce it, they are outside here. And he needs their support. This is what Mr. Kaikai told us. And he showed up in sincere terms. And that is what we are expecting every nominee to do. So, in the final description, we have put round pegs in round holes. The right man in the right position. And I'm not talking about him because I told the youth commissioner I took over 20 minutes addressing this same issue. But I will end with this note. These notes for two categories of people. And I will use the words of a Rastafarian. He said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. If you think drugs is the only way out to salvage yourself as a young person, you have made a great mistake in your life. That is a great mistake you are making in your life. Mr. Speaker, you are here today, you are a very good lawyer because you took your time to educate yourself. You talk about the praise of the men we have in this chamber, it's because we listen and we pass through the age of this huge sector. I am here today because I took my time. I entered Parliament at the early age of 30. I have been member 32, 33 years. I came here. I was on the other side. I was over there. But I made use of my youthfulness. Transform myself to better person. Today, people can listen to me. I'm now here. I'm older than most of my members. Mr. Speaker, I don't need to show you the age. Mr. Speaker, the age I am now. Mr. Speaker, the age I am now. I want to tell my brothers to know and sisters that you don't joke with such age I have. Mr. Speaker, that is a quotation for our young people. But for the quotation of the man going to the office, directly from what he discussed with me, I use his words as I describe what exactly he told us. And I asked him compounded questions, which he responded accurately. He said, Obali once said, who feels it knows it. There we are, we stop. And I look at the other nominee. The business of young generation, as I said, I will keep from that point. Our business is to make sure we have useful young people, meaningful young people. It's when you shout, shout with some finesse. If I praise you, let me praise you with some respect. You don't shout me by taking drugs. Today we are talking about a young person going to the Sierra Leone Ports Authority. If you look at the profile of the individual, he went through the ranks from the Bolori, talking about the ranks, quietly climbing the ladder, quietly climbing the ladder. But Mr. Speaker, it's not by mistake. It's about mere education. It's about mere perseverance. That's why we take you to where you are today. If you listen and try to understand the issues that are in front of you. If you fail to read and copy copiously, you will fail to understand the story coming tomorrow. Because you don't have basis for the present. So there is nothing you can understand for the future. And that is what we are fighting. The business of presidentbio, empowering young people. I can tell you, I don't want to go to a Mr. Speaker, but I believe you have been the youngest deputy speaker in the history of Sierra Leone Parliament. And it's trying to kill to salvage you. I am also the youngest leader of government business, and I better you. So you really know the line. Who is older than who? I have a youngest deputy. But this is the present classification of this government. Trying to expose young people, meaningful, well-meaning young people in the interest of Sierra Leone. I always hear people shouting. But let me tell you, no matter what you see, the thing that brings us together are far greater than the things that divide us. Very sure you have young people. There is so much similarities in young people. Mr. Speaker, you know. I don't need to say that you know. So what I'm saying, if a young man can walk through the ranks of this institution, from that of procurement specialist, right up to deputy, managing director. And now about director general. You know the powers. We enacted it here. And they are here trying to see what else is coming. It's not education. You can be educated, but you don't follow the principles of education. So if you don't follow the principles, that means how do you discharge yourself? How do you make yourself relevant to the society? If you are not relevant to society, it means you are not educated. What you did, you just read papers and sat exam and you passed. That's all. But Mr. Ascabio has proved himself right that he's fit for said position. So I wish him all the best. For this issue of young people, we should live as a testament to talk to our people that it is not by mistake bringing young people on board. It is not about age, it's about performance and service delivery. I wish you all the best. We can go on and on. Mr. Speaker, remember when I was standing here? Honorable Rogers, this one. That's my honorable from Pigeon. When I was pushing the 30%, and I need the attention of the ladies. When I was pushing for 30%, Mr. Speaker, the first law of nature itself. First law of nature itself. I have my friends in the chamber. And they're still with me. So at any time, when I'm standing up, I'm in the face of the good books on the ladies. But I was not in very good mood with my colleagues, the male parliamentarians. Mr. Speaker, I can remember, I don't like to put it directly. But you start right here. And you said one day, SO2, that you woman felt with the government, the law and the law. Mr. Speaker don't speak all the time. But it's man who is very conscious about putting his defenses. So I already prepared to counter him, even when we are on the same side. But Mr. Speaker, instinctively, with my internal structure, spiritually, I combine what my thoughts about 30% with that of me presenting myself as a good sierraleonean. But also, those you live with are very important to your life, your daily life. You also need to take into consideration that their own concerns. My colleagues around me, when I turn left, right, they are all male. I don't see the females, they are all over there. My deputy is another one. They will look at me differently and said, now you know what here don't want to do at SO2. I said, I will use straight remarks. I said, this is the agenda of the president. I will be prosecuted for that. And he will leave this. I will get quiet. But what was very serious is getting to 30%. We have more than 30% now in this chamber. Directly elected members of parliament who are female. I was also not happy because my colleagues are not happy with me. Some did not come because those good parliamentarians, they did not come because of they are not performing. Or sometimes they cut themselves between the law. With the law. But we wanted to address the issue of gender parity. In addressing the issue of gender parity, there are sacrifices that you have to do. Transforming the nation, you have to do sacrifices. And we pay dearly for democracy. So in addressing the issue of democracy, you need to pay attention to little things. So I stood on that platform to address the issue of Pujo. Pujo, in the 5th parliament, no female representation. All male. Now you have 2 female from Pujo. Notice that? And that cost me one of my MP to be here today. A very good economist. But that's the law, the rule of law. So I'm happy President is taking our legislation into consideration. You know the deputy for this one, going at the Sierra Leone Ports Authority, it's a woman. Fulfilling the legislative calendar that we said in the 5th parliament. In coming to the 6th parliament, we must empower women. So Judith Well-Concerned is a deputy to Mr. Ascabio. That is what you are looking for. You have the male and you have the female. It's good combination. And but the combination is not to put people because we want to fill vacancies. She also is carefully educated. She has worked in certain places. And these are the type of combination and meaningful contributions we are talking about to make to society. So I want to assure you that in as much as I supported you, I will also support meaningful appointment and usefulness of the appointee. So that is why, Mr. Speaker, it's a very good language I'm using it because it doesn't make you, because you are feeling you cannot occupy the position. When you occupy the position, you perform. When you occupy the position, you perform. So you make yourself useful at the position given to you. So I wish you all the best. And you can go on and on and on. I have interacted with them very well. We have another female on the panel, or as a nominee rather. And also, you have my daughter from the Go School, who made the first initial sacrifice, to teach chemistry and mathematics. We call him the scientist. So he was there. I mean, he was so happy to serve in the capacity proposed to him. So we believe that one thing that Madam Musu told me, she said, we have mined for far too long in the history of this country, but we need to show something for it. He said, I will work in collaboration with my colleagues. We attract international partners. He's talking about the development partners and those who are interested in investing in Sierra Leone, so that we can come on board, we can have a way we can handle our mining sector. How do we deal with our precious minerals? So for us, I just said, I sat quietly. You are going to collaborate with other agencies. We also have responsibility as members of parliament to do our job. But Mr. Speaker, our job is to do oversight. Our job is to vet and see policies are really implemented. But it's not the end. We also can be forceful by taking on to debate and approving the nominees. Yes, you can be praised, but don't forget that we have come after you. Oh yes, we have talked good things about them. Oh yes, we enacted the general empowerment they give you. Oh yes, we can go after them if the right thing has not been done. That is what we should do as parliamentarians, and that is what we are doing. So in the 5th parliament we are progressive, and in this one, under our leadership, we know we are going to be more progressive. So we now look at all what you have done. What we have done, we have done the nation's pride by looking at 2 aspects of this administration. We first address the issue of youth empowerment. Secondly, how do you address the gender parity? Check the appointment cabinet. We are doing statistical analysis to see what do we get for our female counterparts. How do we address gender parity? What is there for our young people? Because it's the engine of a society. If you want somebody to look at the youth, what do you do for them? What are the things that you can take out? That's the reason we are doing our best. We cut the society from this abuse of harmful substances called push and others. We also look at the laws. How do we make the law comfortable for our people? Not that you can compromise the law, but use the law to do your own operational activities. Thank you very much for showing up and accepting the appointment. Thank you very much for your contribution. I will not end this one by talking to the paramount chiefs. The unique aspect of our parliament is the paramount chiefs. Sometimes when I want to intimidate people on the other side, when my colleagues at the international parliament, I just say, I'm standing on the platform of traditional rulers and politicians who your people don't believe in. When I mention the issue of traditional rulers, they will keep quiet, especially to the Kenyan parliamentarians, because they remove their paramount chief from parliament. They follow their colonial masters. But when I'm talking, with my ancestors at my back, with those paramount chiefs sitting there, those whom I well trust, I speak their words because I always see them. So when I move around, in fact, when I move around, today if I want 5 goats, 1 cow, I will get them. But I am not going to make that request. No. I am not going to make that request. But I don't want to say thank you very much. You are the real habitat of cohesion in this chamber. And as parliamentarians, when full blow of parliament will be in operations, we will have where you come in to arbitrate us, to ensure that there is peace and cohesion. I want to thank you very much, Mr. Thompson, for showing up. I repeat myself, you have done nothing wrong. I am part of the dialogue. You have done nothing wrong, you and your colleague, Momi Bangura. You just serve the provision of the Constitution, Section 97. B. You have not alienated yourself from your people. You have merely represented your people. Those people can be a conglomerate of mixture. It can be a mixture of people of political parties. How do we do? You have the SLP. In fact, I remember I saw somebody vote, Mr. Speaker. Quietly. And my polling agent told me. People in those areas voted again for APC. Even those who do not believe in them, there are people coming from either NDC, APC, SLPP, voted for different representations. So you have done nothing wrong, my brother. We can speak about this, and we are always here as parliament. We talk on the eyes, the different eyes, because you are coming from different political parties. But I remember, as you said, and you have said it twice, to our nominees, they need to listen to you, because you are coming from a different perspective of the political eye. So we need to pay attention to what you have said, and they need to take it into consideration. Where I am, I cannot be fired. I cannot be fired when I was elected together with the president. All of my colleagues, even you. So that's what I enjoy every day. So they are also under the guillotine of Section 61 of the Constitution, as I please the president to hire and fire. So no, we came together. Maybe others will go and will stay. You understand? We're in legislation. So I thank you very much for your contribution. Without parties, for the fairness and the strength of political bipartisan approach, you have given us your own bit of advice in our nominees. So in this vein, with a good spirit of humanity, with a good spirit of oneness and the political drive, with the aspiration of presidentbio, I thank you everyone of you for your numerous contributions. And I hope and pray that when they go to the office, when they are in their offices, Mr. Speaker, this one is very important. You don't forget the MPs. When they knock at your door, remember the words of Honorable Umar. Call the MPs. Mr. Kaikai, we are going to go after the boys to bring them to the rehab centers. They also take in drugs, Mr. Speaker, with these totes. It's deliberate and unlimited. They also take in a harmful substance. They are victims. They cannot be incarcerated. They should be at the rehab centers. We should rehabilitate them. They committed the crimes. They are not under normal temperature and pressure, but under abnormal temperature and pressure, so they went and did the wrong thing. So, if I am stand to be corrected, Mr. Speaker, you are a lawyer, I'm practicing lawyer. If someone is bad and is taken to your chamber, for crime he has committed, and theft is carried out that is under influence, it was not by himself. And in fact, he was mentally unstable when he committed the crime. Your conscience and God, can you sentence that individual to prison, to incarceration? I will not ask you to answer. That is a food for thought. Let's think about it. Why we go for our young people? They need not to be in the correctional centers. They need not to be in the cells. We need to bring them to rehabilitation centers. Let us rehabilitate them. Give them a comfortable place. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you all. May the Lord bless us all. Mr. Speaker, I move. Mr. Speaker, I move that the sixth report of the Committee on Appointment and the Public Service be adopted by the House. Thank you. I so move.
Before I put the question, let me...
Hold on, Mr. Yes. Hold on, there is a bit of... Sorry.
The 90.
No, the resolution is... Oh, yeah. Okay, Mr. Speaker, I think it's about the sixth parliament. Let me go over that, sorry. The ninth report of the first session of the sixth parliament of the Committee on Appointment and Public Service be adopted by the House and the recommendation contained herein be approved. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Before I ask for a seconder, let me warn the nominees. After this House would have passed you or approved you, you wait for Mr. Speaker to leave the chambers before you do. Please, wait until I leave the chambers. Because no one... Of course. You can count on me. So, honorable members, the question is that the ninth report of the first session of the sixth parliament of the Committee on Appointments and the Public Service be adopted by this House and that the recommendations contained herein be approved. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Let me at this stage.
The Committee on Appointments and Public Service proposed by Honorable Matthew S. Nima has been approved.
Let me at this stage, on behalf of Parliament, congratulate the approved nominees. As a matter of fact, you are heading to offices where we had Sierraleoneans. You have predecessors that were in those same offices. They came to Parliament and they made lousy promises. But at the end of the day, we did not see much. Sierra Leone is in need of good leaders. Maybe what they did, the kind of formula they put in place in those offices were the reason where they failed. If you go to those offices, try to do something different. As a nation, ever since independence, we have been going in circles. Every year we do the same thing over and over and over and again. We have not made much progress as a nation. So my advice and caution to you is that whatever your predecessors did that went wrong, you try to do something different. Do this nation good. This nation has suffered so much. Please do something different for the good of the citizenry of Sierra Leone. In the circumstances, I want to take this opportunity on behalf of Parliament to congratulate you and to wish you well. Do this nation well. You are all extremely qualified for those positions. You are extremely qualified. It's just a matter of you doing something a little bit different from your predecessors. So I want to take this opportunity again to thank His Excellency the President for believing in young people. Because of course, these days the nominees are so young. We have young people taking over the nation of Sierra Leone. I think it's about time we develop now. And let me again advise you, for those you see out there, they came here jubilating, supporting you and all. When it is time for politics, they do the heavy lifting. It will be unfair for you to go to your offices and think that they are underdogs. Find a place in your hearts to entertain them. Thank you very much and congratulations. Announcements.
Mr. Speaker, before the announcement, this is a people's parliament. We can accommodate of different people coming. Mr. Speaker, as I'm standing here, you can hear the noise coming from the papers now. So we don't want them to be surprised, and let's be in the news that we will put in place other strict regulations. Our members, people who are coming from outside, when are invited, you cannot come here when you are in the chamber and they are causing so much noise outside.
Certainly.
Interfering with the proceedings.
Certainly.
So this is a notice. So when you call the security personnel, preventing you not to come into the chamber or not to come to the members' plan, or even within the corridors, will be surprised. Because they can be busy there, causing noise, they're still causing noise. It's not a good thing for Parliament.
I know.
Thank you.
Yes, announcements.
Announcements. Members of the Committee on Water Resources and Sanitation, I are requested to attend the short meeting at the conference room of the new administrative building immediately after sitting. Signed, Chairman, Honorable Musa Lai. Members of the Committee on Lands, Housing and Country Planning are requested to attend the committee meeting tomorrow in the conference room of the administrative building at 11 a.m. Signed, Chairman, Honorable Quintin Sarian-Cohen. There will be an inaugural meeting for members of the Parliamentary Committee on Employment, Labour and Social Security immediately after Parliamentary sitting at the new administrative building. Signed, Chairman, Honorable Rebecca Ye Kamara. Initiative in Capacity Building Association International is pleased to invite all honorable members of Parliament, MBAs, to their VIP red carpet spelling bee event at the Parliament State Hall tomorrow, 25th October 2023 at 10 a.m. Thank you for the audience.
This sitting is adjourned to Thursday, 26th October 2023 at 10 a.m.